Harlingen CISD, it's time for SuperTalks. Be a part of the journey to inspire, engage, and empower.
Good day, everyone, and welcome to the SuperTalks. I am excited about this one. I am a big fan of Grupo Frontera. I mean, I am a huge fan. I love cumbias. I grew up listening to all the greats. So today we have a very special guest who attended HHS. He also attended South in Demond. I know that we were talking to Brian, and we're excited to have him here. So tell us about our guest, Demond.
Well, first of all, I just want to tell you it is an honor to have you here, Brian. And I've been studying your story and studying your group story. And I'm absolutely fascinated with your journey because it's the journey of the true, not just American dream, but anybody's dream of going after what probably people thought originally y'all were absolutely crazy from what I saw. And how many times things did not work out, and to finally one day or whatever realizing, I think we made it. And so I'm excited to kind of hear about your journey and for us to talk about all the things or whatever that you have to help inspire our students and inspire our teachers to go for their dreams and to make it happen. So welcome. And please tell us a little bit about kind of your history. Like you started right here in Harlingen and you went to like every school in Harlingen.
Yeah, I did.
So talk to us a little bit about that.
Well, first of all, thank you for the invite. I'm glad to be here. A little nervous, but we'll get through it. So yeah, pretty much I grew up in Harlingen all my life. I went to elementary to Crockett, Travis, Bowie. I moved around a lot as a kid. And then I went to Coakley in middle school, and then I went to Harlingen High and Harlingen South. So I kind of, I ran it all. Everybody knows me, man. And it's like, my parents always ask me, how do you know so many people? And it's just like, man, well, y'all moved me around. Right. So it's like, it's good to have a lot of friendships in that way. But yeah, I grew up here. I used to play soccer. And that's what everybody kind of knew me as, the soccer player. And then now everybody's like, hey, man, you went from an athlete to a musician. That's kind of one journey. But actually, my musical ability, I guess, I started playing in church. I used to play in church. My dad was a worship leader, and I used to be, the guy on the keys. I used to play the keyboard. I play a couple instruments, and that's how I started off. And then little by little, it just kind of escalated from a guitar. The bass was actually the last instrument I learned how to play, which was pretty funny. And that's the instrument I play right now in the band currently. But, it's been a long journey, but, we're here and we got more to go.
That's so cool. And I've seen you guys on Good Morning America, on Jimmy Kimmel. I've seen all of your videos are just blowing up. You've recorded with Bad Bunny, Grupo Firme. It's
performed at Coachella.
Man.
Yeah, we actually did.
It's like big time. So how did this happen, man? You I see your bass there.
Yeah.
But did you ever imagine that it was going to be this? Was this the big dream, or how did it come to play?
This was the big dream, but I never thought it was going to happen to me the way it did. I had to leave the Valley. I left the Valley chasing what I'm living right now, and kind of like the Valley chased me back, and it was like, hey, come on, man, come back over here, And it was a journey of about 6 years that I moved to Houston, and I was playing with local bands here and there. And I knew the current Frontera members from a long time ago, but we never actually intertwined. We never, talked, never. And we had mutual friends, and we never bumped into each other. We just never did. I left to Houston, and then a mutual friend of theirs and mine kind of put us together, but I met him in Houston. So if I would have never left here, I would have never made that connection, and I would have never been in the group. So that was kind of like a journey, like I said, in itself too. And it's just been fairy tale, I guess you could say it. Uno nunca piensa que le va a pasar así. Uno nunca piensa que le va a pasar como me pasó a mí, a nosotros. And the craziest thing is I'm living a 1 in a billion dream with 5 other people that are from my same town. That's the crazy part. Out of the whole world, it's 5 other people that are from the Valley sharing one big dream. And it's just it's surreal. Everything that you guys are mentioning, it's when I'm like this, I think back about it, I'm like, oh yeah, we did that. Yeah, we did that too. And it's just when we're on tour, when we're on everything, it's just go, go, go mode. And sometimes you don't have the ability to take it in. until you're like, like this, talking to other people about it. And that's what's cool. Like, it's just like, yeah, like we did that.
And I'll tell you, I was watching you all's Coachella performance, and I'm real big about synergy and how artists connect with an audience and really bring that out. So I'm thinking to myself, this is absolutely incredible watching on how everybody's completely and totally with you. And there was a moment in which you all stopped singing and the audience took over and started singing instead. And I got chills at that moment whenever I saw that, because I thought, and maybe I'm making too much of a moment like that, but to me, when everybody knows your song and everybody's singing it together, what was that moment like?
I mean, first of all, if you got chills, you could just imagine us when we were there. You know what I mean? And it's like, I had always wanted to go to Coachella as a fan, let me buy tickets, let me go see the artist. I never thought I was going to perform on the main stage of Coachella at headline prime time in front of, I don't know how many thousands of people. It was over 100. I know it was over 100. But man, that was like a really big pinnacle moment in our career, and it just felt surreal. It's like the best way I could explain it is when you're in a roller coaster and you're about to go down that dive when it's about to drop. That's how I felt all performance. It was just like a peak. And I finished, like we finished, and it's like you see everybody, you see all the people, you see Bad Bunny next to you, and you're like, you don't even want to turn and look at him. You're like, there's cameras everywhere. And it was just a really like surreal moment for all of us, and after we got done playing, it was just like, let's do it again. Like, let's do it again. It was like in that moment, we're just so concentrated on, obviously, because it's live, we're trying to put on a good show. But at the same time, all these emotions are going through your head and through your body. And it's just like, what the heck is going on, But yeah, that was a really surreal moment for us. And that same week is when the video came out. And nobody expected Bad Bunny to invite us on his set. And not only one song, two. He wanted us to play 3.
Wow.
And before that, we were in Las Vegas for the Latin American Music Awards the night before. And then the day after we flew, Bad Bunny actually got us a private jet. And we flew to Coachella. We did sound check. And we thought we were just going to sing one song, which was 1%. And we got there and he was like, hey, muchachos, quiero que toquen No Se Va, la de Bebé Dame. I like that song. We were like, what? And he showed us videos on his phone that he had TikTok drafts of him just dancing our songs like months prior to our collab. So it was kind of surreal to see how someone so big and talented, like, as him, a celebrity, like be a fan of our music, and it's like,
Well, that's what's so cool. And y'all's music is, I mean, I love cumbia, but the lyrics are so clever, man. It's what's the creative process? I know that one, Amor de mi vida, y'all did with Grupo.
The Firme.
That one is just blowing up, but it's so clever. It's so well written, and the beat, and it's just so danceable, man. It's just, and it never gets
catchy.
old. It is. It's catchy, but who came up with that?
That has a lot to do with our producer and composer, Edgar Barrera.
Okay.
Shout out to him if he ever sees this. He's the one he's the lyrical genius, man, behind all the songs. He's the one that writes them. And when we're in the studio session together, we usually put it together, and then, each one of us kind of has different opinions. Hey, we should do this, we should do that. But at the end of the day, it's just like an all-in-all effort, I guess, in a group. But he's the one that writes the songs. And, I mean, he's written for Mark Anthony, Maluma, Shakira. He's written for big names, and now, thank God, we're on that list too, and so it's pretty good. And he's from the Valley too. He's from Roma. Wow. So it's all like a big Valley team. Just
see, that's the thing right now, man, is we visited Roma. We took a team over there because they're real big into conjunto and the accordion. So we're trying to replicate that. We're trying to because there's a lot of talent in this community. There's a lot of talent. So we want to tap into that talent. But when you have individuals like yourself and Grupo Frontera just breaking down barriers and making the impossible possible, I don't know if you all realize what y'all are doing for the Valley. We're just so proud of you guys, man. You guys are representing.
Yes.
So whenever we found out you were willing to come and just knowing your busy schedule and everything you have going on, and you willing to come back to your alma mater just to say, hey, I'll have a conversation. It's just a lot of gratitude on our end. So I wanted to thank you for that. But when do you know that a song's going to hit?
You don't. Everybody kind of asks us that question frequently, and it's like, and I'm pretty sure other musicians that have bands and stuff could vouch for this when I say this. Sometimes the song you like the most is the one people like the least.
Wow.
Right.
And sometimes it's the one that you least expect that skyrockets, you know? And it happened to us with No Se Va. No Se Va was a cover of Morat. And like I said, we put it out just to put it out, you know, and let's see what happens. And in the first month, 2 months, I think it was like a hit on TikTok, and then it just spiraled after that. And it got to the point where we're like, what's going on? Like, we didn't even know what the heck was going on with that song. And that's the song that skyrocketed us to everything. And then after that came Bebe Dame and Que Vuelvas with Cari Leon. And when those two features kind of happened, it was like, whoa, like, what are we doing? You know, like, we didn't realize it. But then after those came Yaritza, came Bad Bunny, came, you know, Arcángel, came Firme. And it's just like, you know, we never expect it to hit. It's just that we always do it with heart, you know, and every song we record, whatever in the studio, we do it like if it's the last song we're ever going to do, you know, and we just put a lot of, los entregamos mucho a la música, por el arte, you know, for the art, for the love of the art. Sí. And we always say this, we never looked for the fame. We never put out songs just to be famous, to be rich. No, it's like we did it because we loved the music. We wanted to put our music out there. And now it's like the whole world knows who we are, not just U.S., people in Mexico, they send us videos from Tokyo, Japan, France, that people are listening to Frontera. Yes. And it's like, man, like, what did we do? You know, it's like surreal. I keep saying that word, but it's just really what we're living right now. You know, it's a 1 in a billion dream that,
yeah, man.
You know, it's pretty crazy.
I can't even imagine what you guys are feeling right now, but you're putting out some beautiful music.
Thank you,
it's just it's just inspirational, man. Because, you know, a lot of times, to your point, that's not the goal is not to be famous. It is to put out beautiful music, and that makes a lot of sense. And I think that's why your music is so awesome. Because there's a lot of heart. You can feel it. It's not some music you listen to and some you feel. And I think that your music you feel. And I think that that's special.
Yeah. As a musician, I try to always put a lot of feeling behind the music. And I feel like you just said it yourself. There's songs that you listen to and you're like, oh, that's a good song. But there's songs that you're like, that's a good song. That's a great song, you know? And I mean, I know I can say this myself. I know I'm part of the band, but I don't get tired of listening to our songs. I mean, I know it sounds kind of like cliche, like, oh, you know, but it's true. Like, I mean, just last night we're at the Ramon Ayala Posada. We're the special guests that we played. And it's like, we've played those songs all year. We had a year-long tour since March, and we just finished. And I love playing them, man. Every time I play them live, it's just like, it's like a new feeling, you know? It's like, I never get tired of them. And there's more music on the way. We already finished our other album, but it's coming out next year, hopefully. Wow. So, yeah. So awesome. If you like this songs, just wait for the other ones, man. Yeah, the other ones are even more. It's a little bit different, but it's still the Grupo Frontera soul, you know. So, and
the cool thing is, you know, historically, and I know there's going to be a lot of people that are listening that can vouch for this. Is, you know, it was like B104, all hit music and more back in the day. And now 104, what is it called now?
Isn't it? Well, back then I think it was Wild 104.
Wild 104, whatever it is now. But you never heard cumbias on 104.
Yeah.
But we hear your group on 104 because it's just everybody loves it. So it's I mean, the kids love it. My little girl's 10 years old. I have a 9-year-old, I have a 12-year-old, and they love it. Right. So I'm thinking it crosses generations. It crosses genres. All these famous people are saying, "Hey, we want to collaborate with you all," because they know what you guys have.
Yeah, and I feel like you said it yourself. There's no range for our music. I feel like you could be 60, you could be 30, you could be 20, you could be 10, and you could still jam to it because it's like music for everybody. You know, I feel like it doesn't have a specific. How would you call it? Like a specific.
Like a generation.
It's not like a specific. People we're trying to reach or something. It's just everybody, you know. And there's people that don't speak any Spanish and they love our songs. Yes. And we always get messages like that. Hey, my kids don't speak any Spanish, but they love your songs. They have No Se Va on repeat, you know, the other ones. And it's like, that's crazy because we're literally breaking borders, you know, and there's no borders for music, you know. And we went out of our way to make music that's a little different, but you know, with the same taste that we all grew up with. You said you grew up listening to cumbias. So did I. Duelo, Intocable, Selena, you know. Intocable, and now it's like those guys are... Back then, they were like, we looked up to them, and we still do.
But Ramon Ayala, you're at his Posada now.
And now they're like colleagues, and it's just like, what? Like, when did this happen? You know, and I mean, it's crazy to say that, but I mean, that's where we're at right now, and it's
So you guys have some cool stuff coming?
but really cool stuff, man. Yeah, really, really cool stuff. Yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I will tell you, before I came in, I was talking to a very dear friend of mine. Her name is Mrs. Navarro. She's wanted me to let you know that she's your number one fan. She wants tickets to the concert. I told her I would do it. It's a shameless plug. I told them, and I'm letting you know, here it is. It's out there.
You have to put that sponsorship.
I had to throw it on out there. But here goes the thing. So I told her I'm coming in to see you, and we were talking about some other things, whatever, with school and everything, and she's very professional and all that. And she said, "Oh my God, you're going to see who? What? No, you don't understand. They're my favorite group." And she starts playing your songs. She said, "Get up, get up. I'm going to show you how to dance." And she's like, "Wait a minute, sit down. You look like the Temptations. It doesn't work." You know? And she was so excited. And I thought to myself, do you all realize what you've tapped into? The fact that you've got people's souls. And celebrity is one thing. Money is one thing. But people are genuinely listening to your music, and no matter what they're going through, all of a sudden it takes them someplace else, which is absolutely phenomenal. So that side, but what I'm also interested in is the grind, because people love to celebrate where you are now, but the grind always is interesting to me, because there had to have been moments in y'all's lives where you all look like fools, or you just look like, because I'm reading, you started off at quinces and weddings and very small, very humble, just doing what you love to do. What kept you going? Like, were there ever moments where you thought, you know what, this isn't going to work out? And what, and despite, because I know people too would, oh yeah, that sounds nice, and yeah, maybe that could happen for you one day. How did you silence all of that and keep grinding through that in order to get to where you are, to where people are screaming in the office now?
I feel like perseverance is a very big word for what you just said. There was a lot of times where I wanted to throw in the towel. Like I said, it was a span of 6 years since I left to where I'm currently at. And throughout those 6 years, there was a lot of closed doors. There was a lot of people telling me no. There was a lot of people, you know, and it's like a lot of people get se desaniman con un no. A lot of people get, you know, they think after one no, that's it. And it's like you never know if one door closes, two might close, three, but that fourth door you open might be the one, you know. And it's like a lot of people don't get to the second one, not even the third one, because after the first one, they're just like, I'm going to quit, you know, it's not for me. And I just feel like there was a lot of long nights, early mornings where I was just like playing with local, like I said, in Houston, I used to play with local bands. And it was like, yeah, you know, sometimes I was at rinky-dinky bars playing, you know, earning like $40, you know, a night. And it was just like, I wanted to be out there, you know. But I feel like all those moments led up to where I'm at right now. Like if I wouldn't have been so molded in that, I guess, in that venture, you know, that music scene, I would have not been here, you know. And it's just that dedication. There was a lot of times where I wanted to throw in the towel, like I said, and you know, first and foremost, the man upstairs, man, he's the one that kept me going, you know. And he's the one that always kept me going. And I lived by myself in Houston, no parents, no brother, no nothing. I lived over there for 6 years by myself. I didn't know nobody. And now people ask me, are you from Houston, man? Because you know all these people. And it's crazy that I know so many people in Houston now. People think I'm from Houston. I'm like, nah, man, I'm from the Valley, bro. 956 for life. But now I have a lot of friendships that are like, man, bro, like we've seen you grind. We've seen you play. I'm not going to lie. I've played in front of a crowd of 10 people, 15 people. And now I've played in front of crowds of like 100,000 plus, you know, and it's like, and to me, it's always been the same feeling when I step on a stage, you know. But there was a lot of no's. There was a lot of people saying, you know, keep trying. And that's what I did. I kept trying. I never stopped. And luckily, one day, it was just meant to be. You know, the man upstairs said, hey, it's your time. And I got linked with the group. And I started actually at a quinceañera with Frontera. We were still playing quinceañeras when I joined them. And they needed a bass player in a quinceañera in Houston, and they were like, I'm telling you, that mutual friend, you know, contacted us. They called me. I went, and they were like, hey, here's a set list. Learn these songs. And I think it was a Tuesday, and on Friday we were already playing. And I remember I got to the hotel with this bass and a little speaker, and I was like, hey, I had a quick 10-minute audition. And they were like, well, you're already here, so and that's the true story. And they were like, well, you're already here. We can't have anybody else, right? So let's see how it goes. Luckily, the quinceañera was great. It went great. And then the day after, which was Saturday, they had a show in Dallas. So they were like, hey, you want to come with too? I was like, yeah. After Dallas, it was Phoenix. After Phoenix, it was San Antonio. And then after that, they were like, hey, man, we kind of like your vibe. We like your style. And they didn't know I was from the Valley till I told them. And they were like, bro, really? And I was like, yeah, I'm from Harlingen. Oh, we thought you were from Houston. We're like, nah, bro. I was like, no, I'm from the Valley. So that kind of made it click a little bit more. And so, going back to your question, it's just been a lot of perseverance on my end. It's easy to quit, but it's not easy to keep going. A lot of people are like, hey, man, and the years just pass you by. Keep in mind, I'm 28. I just turned 28 2 weeks ago, and I was like, man, I don't want to keep chasing a dream if it's never gonna come, and it's just like sometimes those thoughts go through your head and there's nobody else but you to keep yourself going.
Right.
And I thank God that he gave me the perseverance and the ability to keep going. And now we're here, so
that's awesome.
Yeah.
And I know that there's students and parents and community members. And on this one, this one's going to hit, right? So there's going to be a lot of people watching. So I know that I love the message on not giving up. Because whether you're an artist, whether you're a superintendent, whether you're going into law school or med school or all walks of life,
Building
whatever
a
it is,
business.
man, building
Yeah.
a business, there's always that grind and that push, and it's
And the
always
no's.
it's always easier said than done. Like, so you don't give up, but when you're in the storm, man, like when you're
and nobody else is around you, and
Right.
it's just
It's-
you.
right,
it's hard
so-
to keep rolling.
Right.
Right.
So that's
Yeah.
what we're saying to the people out
Right.
there is we're saying when it's down and dirty and you're down and beat up, you're hearing it from Brian, like, get up, man, animo, let's go.
Animo.
That's right.
And actually, going back to that, Harvard invited us to go speak. We had this panel. When was it? About 4 months ago. Actually, I think it was the same week we went to Good Morning America. They invited us, and it was crazy to think that Harvard has a Valley section, just the Valley section. Like, people from the Valley, they have like this Latino community, and the three heads of the whole club are from the Valley, which is crazy. Yeah, and me too. I was making the same face you are right now when I was over there. And we spoke in front of a crowd, and they gave us an award from Harvard and all this stuff. And it's crazy because we were talking to them about not giving up. And we were telling them, on y'all's end, it's kind of the same thing. Like, to get into Harvard, it's very, very difficult, as we all know. And we were telling them, just like you guys kept on persevering and kept on taking those SATs and all that stuff, you guys got there, And it's crazy for them to invite us, because you would have never thought, a school like that with such a big name would, know who we are. We're a group. We're a Grupo from the Valley. And we went over there, man, and it was a really nice moment too to see everybody over there. Like, and everybody was, getting inspired by what we were saying, what we were doing, and it's like, little do they know that they kind of inspired us, because to get into Harvard, remember when I was in high school and I had to take SATs and all that, and I was like, okay, let's see what I can get into, and that's dedication as well, So a lot of people think that, like I said, with the first no, that's it, and you got to keep going. You got to keep going and never stop trying, because you never know when that door is gonna open.
I agree, man. And you're 28, I'm 51.
Yeah.
But it's still the same game.
We young.
Yeah, it's still the same game though, man. It doesn't change.
That's
Whether
right.
you're 28, 51, 61, 81, 91, as long as you're on God's green earth, you got to grind.
Yeah.
And it's one thing to get to the top, but you got to keep working. I mean, I can't
maintain
imagine like once you get to that level and you're producing these hits, then there's even more pressure.
Yeah.
Because the
To
world
stay
is
there.
saying,
Trust me.
what's next?
Everybody was always, and actually us too, we're human, and that kind of like doubt gets in your head, wow, we're going to be one-hit wonders. What if we're a one-hit wonder? And everybody was questioning themselves, it's just a cover. They're going to be a one-hit wonder. And then we started, with Frágil, Bebé Dame, Que Vuelvas. And it's just like, thank God we maintain ourselves up there.
Yeah, man.
But yeah, it's a lot of art. A lot of people think it's hard to get there, and believe me, it's not. It's
Staying
harder to
there.
maintain there, to
staying
stay
power.
there. Because keep in mind, music is coming out left and right. Every other day, there's an artist dropping a song, and you drop a song the same day. In 3 days, your song's forgotten. And that's how crazy and that's how saturated the music is right now. That you have to stay on top of everything, you know. And like I said, luckily we have a great team behind us that, you know, is helping us out with all that.
I can't even imagine. Who's your hero?
I'd say my dad, you know, everything that he kind of sacrificed, and my mom, and, you know, being here, you know, and my dad's right here, so I'm trying not to turn around so I don't cry. But it's just we've gone through a lot in our life, you know, and it's nice to be able to provide for them now how I always dreamt of and how I always, you know, imagined. And just seeing them, you know, that they're always so proud. They always tell me they're proud. And it's funny because I hadn't seen them in like 6 years. This year I came about 3-4 times. And I hadn't seen them in like 6 years. And the first day I got home, my dad was like, what do I tell you? I've seen you on TV. I don't know what to tell you now. He's just like, now I feel like I only see you on TV. And, you know, and it is great to have that relationship with my parents back, you know, because now they're a 30-minute drive away, you know, and back then they were a 6-hour drive. And it's like sometimes with all the traveling, I couldn't really come to them. And now it's just like, you know, that's one of my main things that I always say. You know, my parents are a big inspiration to me. They've been through a lot as parents, and as well as I have. And I'm glad that, you know, I grew up with the parents I have. And I just, you know, I just want to say thank you, man, because, you know, if I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for them.
Yeah,
honestly.
You're blessed, man.
Yeah.
And I see your pops over there, man. He's got a lot of pride in his eyes, and I know he loves you more than anything. And your beautiful wife is there, and you just got your whole family rallying around you, and you got the whole RGV rallying around you. And I just, man, we're proud of you. Even, you know, I was at a function right now, and I was getting ready to leave, and I was like, hey, well, I'm going to go. I got a SuperTalks with a bass player from Grupo Frontera. I was like, I even said that with pride because I'm like, man. So I think it's one of those where we're all just so proud of you guys, and we're getting so much inspiration from you all. And in you know, even in my world as superintendent, it's like, well, how do you perform at that level? You know, in my own world, I want to be the Grupo Frontera of superintendents, right? So, but you got to grind.
Well, you need a cowboy hat and boots first of all.
I got that.
Hey, okay. There we go.
I'm from Heavenville, baby.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I came in here with some hey dudes on, but that's all right. You know what But anyway, hey, it is what it is. But I love what you're talking about. And you all have me crying over here thinking about it, because I love watching the love that your dad and your wife have in their eyes for you, and celebrating all that you are accomplishing, that you know, they always say we're survived by somebody. You pick up where they left off and you go into the stratosphere because they put all that in you and that kind of support. And I'm going to tell you, not everybody gets that. I work with students all the time in theater that they don't necessarily get that sort of support. A lot of them do, but there are some or whatever that, you know, their parents have never seen a performance of theirs, or never really backed that, or always thought that this was some pipe dream or just some silly thing, and they don't realize the work and the effort and the passion that you have to have and the support that you need. And so that's absolutely phenomenal. Thank you. Absolutely phenomenal. I wanted to ask a couple of other things. I know we got to wrap up. We could be here all day.
But I know. I was like, we better get comfortable, right?
I know you got things to do. But I wanted to ask you too. I was in my research, and I found this interesting. With you being from a border town, being right there next to Mexico, and with your music being in Spanish, but also at times or whatever, you also are also speaking in English. Has there been conflicts with that? Have there been?
Not really. I feel like we've been supportive of, like, you know, the bilingual scene, you know, since, you know, we always talk Tex-Mex, que a veces español, a veces inglés. Sí. We do a lot of interviews in Spanish and English, and I just feel like we connect with a lot more people, you know? I know Good Morning America is, I mean, it's a USA show, you know, it's in the United States. And for them to invite, you know, us, that we're a Latino, Mexican band, you know, from the valley, from the border. That's awesome. That's like, yeah, you know, it's you never think that you're going to get to a level like that. And I just feel like there hasn't never been a problem, no conflicts. I just feel like a lot of people are supportive of, you know, where we come from, and because they identify themselves with us a lot. You know, a lot of people go through the same thing we do. you know, and at the end of the day, we're people just like everybody else. But you don't see stories like ours, you know, as much coming from a small town, you know, and stuff like that. And you'd be surprised. We've had, like I said, going back to the tour, we've had a year-long tour. We've been to New York, Colorado, Miami, you know, Oregon, Washington. And believe me or not, everywhere we go, there's at least one person wearing a 956 shirt. Wow. Or at least one person holding up a 956 sign. Wow. And it's crazy to say that, but everywhere we go, people are like, Arriba al Valle, puro 956. And it's crazy because you don't expect people from the Valley being in Washington, being in Oregon, being in North Carolina. Like we're scattered everywhere, man, to be honest. And it's just nice to get that support system from people from your hometown too, you know. And it was crazy. 2 days ago, I went to the mall. The McAllen Mall, and some fans bumped into us, and they said, "Hey, we saw you guys in San Jose, in California, and we have family down here, and we're visiting." And they were like, "Can we take a picture?" And we were like, "Yeah, man, come on." So, and that concert was just not too long ago. It was like a month ago, and it's crazy to to see people like that go out of their way to see you, and then they bump into you at just a regular place, and they're like, "Hey, man," So it's nice to just have support from everybody all around. So. I mean, I don't think a conflict, never, but it's always been like good conflict. I guess, yeah. So
good.
So where's home? Where's home base for you?
Oh, well, right now, I mean, like I said, I grew up in Harlingen, and my parents live here, but I recently moved to McAllen.
Okay.
Just to be closer with the band. We're all from over there. We're all from here. But
we're claiming you here though in Harlingen.
Oh yeah, man. Yeah, Harlingen's my town,
Harlingen,
my city.
CISD.
Yeah,
you're ours.
I graduated from here.
I know. I know. Edinburgh does a good job of. I think your lead singer graduated from Edinburgh, and I think they have done not for long, right? We're about to blow it up with you, baby. but yeah, you belong to us.
No,
we're claiming
I'm
you, dude.
Loud and proud. I'm a Harlingen native. Man, yeah.
Awesome.
Like I said, we just over there, for to be all at one place.
That
and
makes
stuff.
sense.
But yeah, I'm from here, man. I'm here almost every other day. So
awesome. So at some point, we would love you to come back and talk to our students. I know that we have a performing arts center, and and Damon is the actor in residence there. We have a conservatory. We have a lot of kids interested in the arts.
Of course, man. I'd be honored.
Your schedule, I know you're busy, but I'll get with Javi and we'll figure out a time where you can come and just talk to our kids, man.
Yeah,
I know that
for sure.
you're a superstar, man, and
Thank you.
we're blessed to we're blessed to even have you on our team, and we're your biggest fans.
Thank you guys. And like I said, you guys are the ones that keep us going, man. Everybody that listens to our music and everybody out there that just supports us. So I mean, if it wasn't for y'all, we wouldn't be here. So thank you on my part.
We're gonna keep it going, man. We're gonna keep representing
for sure.
And is there anything that you want to tell the community in either English or Spanish or both?
Just don't give up. Don't give up. Dreams do come true. Just like I said, perseverance is a big word. Mucha gente les va a decir que no. Mucha gente les va a decir que no es para ti, que hagas algo más, pero si tú tienes una pasión, síguela, cree en Dios y créeme que se van a cumplir. Pero tienes que esperar en su tiempo. So.
I love that, man. The power of never giving up, the power of breaking through barriers, the power of just having that positive outlook on life, because life is short. It's gone in a flash. So I love the fact that you're making the most of it. Again, you're an inspiration to all of us. On behalf of the entire Harlingen CISD family and our board of trustees, I want to thank you, congratulate you.
Yes.
To your wife, thank you for being here. To your father,
yes.
Felicidades. What a beautiful day this has been, man. Thank you so much.
For sure, man. Thank you guys so much for the invite. I really had fun, man. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, we'll call you back.
Oh, yeah, man. Yeah, we got to do a part 2.
We'll do it.
That'll be awesome.
Yeah.
Consider that done.
Okay, for sure, man.
Hope you all enjoyed this awesome Super Talks. Have a wonderful day.
Bye-bye, everybody.